Japan Part 127. For example, one gap filled in 1973 was the provision for free medical care for all people 70 and older. One could argue, however, that the injustices should be dealt with by reducing the differentials between groups without sacrificing the system of company and group responsibility. Large company funds could be taxed and some of the proceeds given to support those who are unattached. Large companies could be required to bear large portions of their former employees' old age expenses. Social programs could be made available for training and employing women heads of the households. Since 1976, monthly bonuses have been given to the companies for employing widows or women with disabled husbands, and these bonuses could be increased. One could argue that the strength of the company, the professional associations, the village, and the family is a precious commodity. In the post-industrial age, with its centrifugal tendencies, that a welfare system which reinforces these ties should not be casually cast aside as a feudal remnant. Minimal bureaucracy, maximum impact. In the health and welfare fields, as in the other fields, the Japanese bureaucracy is highly centralized. It has broad scope but tries to play a minimal role in the direct administration. Compared to the United States, which has confusing, overlapping national and state jurisdiction with many inconsistencies, Japan has simpler, more consistent national plans. Although the varying programs for different groups is not without administrative problems, services are nonetheless standardized throughout the country. With less duplication, Japan is able to streamline its welfare bureaucracy. Just as the economic bureaucracy accepts a broad responsibility for promoting the economic health of the nation, so the national health bureaucracy accepts a broad responsibility for looking after the health of the populace. As in other fields, bureaucrats take more initiative than their counterparts in the United States. For example, they make far more frequent inspections of the restaurants, hospitals, and other institutions to see they observe standards of nutrition and cleanliness. They take a more active role in health examination for youth, providing dental and medical checkups for all school children. They make more use of the schools and the neighborhoods for giving vaccination and injections of all types. And therefore the Japanese population is better protected against such diseases than the people in the United States. In improving nutrition and in trying to prevent damage from charcoal, gas fumes, and like the Japanese government takes an aggressive role in using the mass media. NHK and National Education Television give detailed advice to mothers about nutrition and health of their children. Mothers are also called in to the public schools and lectured on child care. In the United States, politicians are at the mercy of the welfare pressure groups, and the result has been that fees and payments for certain welfare programs have risen astronomically, sometimes at the expense of the coherent, equitable plan. In Japan, bureaucracy, which has great measure of power relatively to politicians, is somewhat better be able to resist special pressures and to provide a sound fiscal base. Although it is by no means immune from pressure groups, as John C. Campbell has shown in his analysis of decisions to raise welfare payments prior to the crucial elections. In the case of livelihood maintenance subsidies, Japanese government relies less on professional welfare workers and more on some 160,000 officially designated volunteers to make home visits. These volunteers, respected senior people in the local neighborhood or village, make recommendations about need of the 1.3 million people who receive maintenance subsidies. they receive the maintenance subsidies, and they number up to 1.3 million people.